All right, folks, good morning. Friday, the 5th of May. It's the 5th. Doris, you said you was waiting for the 5th yesterday. The 4th has gone. I hope the 4th was with you. And now it's the 5th. No hat because I'm inside, but maybe I should have wore a hat anyway. Yeah, I did a bit of a look at the sky out on the balcony and thought, shall I, shan't I? It's a bit extra blustery out there today. I would have needed a coat out there today, which is all very sad. It's all even more positive, isn't it? Positive and sunny, and it's, oh look, the weather's warm, and then today it's not so. So it's not that I'm not positive, but it's just not quite the same when the sun's not out. Morning, Odile. Morning, Maddie. What's to report, folks? You've got 3 minutes to tell me if you would like. It's another bank holiday weekend. Another BH again. Not complaining, of course, not complaining. Any plans? Are you watching the telly? Are you watching the historical event? Give us a yes or a no, or a elaborate more if you want. You got 3 minutes, fill the gap. Come on, help me out. Morning, Francis. Bristol is in. I'm in Bristol in a few weeks, Francis. I say a few weeks. It's not a few weeks at all. I think it's June. Oh, can't remember. No, it's not. It's this month. Oh my goodness. I think it's the week after next that I'm in Bristol. Miss P coming out to see you, and it's true. Morning, Bolton. Just before this, I was just having a scroll at the news today and stumbled on a story about robots and the importance of blinking. Getting robots to blink apparently is quite important in context of human connections, feeling emotion, understanding all of those in between the lines communication. You heard it here first. There's a lot of work currently going on to work out how to make robots blink. It's a very complex conundrum, or so this story says. So apparently if we don't blink, it makes us feel quite strange. Morning, Angela. Morning, Penzance. A minute to go and then we'll get on with this movement snack. I've come indoors today because basically it's just a little bit too chilly out there on the balcony. So it's an indoorsy one, and I've just realised actually, yes, let me take my socks off so I'm less, so I've got a bit more friction. So I'm in bare feet because I'm indoors. Of course, wear the right footwear for you. Julie with the G's in. Did I understand that the Pulse Habit Posse went out for the day yesterday? Did you go to Mumbles? Did you have a lunch appointment, you three? Did all 3 of you separately said going to Mumbles? Was there an event yesterday, a celebration or something I should know about? Was there? Tell me. It's 8 o'clock. George isn't here. Maybe I've missed him again. So it's a 329 Bex Townley Later Life Training. That's Rupert having his morning bark. Let's get going. Oh, move my buffet out the way and decide where you want to be, sit or stand. I've got external support here, a bit hip height, a fraction, maybe a fraction too low if I really, really needed it. Kind of about here-ish is best. And I've got my sofa for my seated options today, a little bit more sturdier than my usual one outside. So let's go for the standing prompts. Standing more upright. Just take a moment to feel how you're stood. Might sound odd, but it's significant about where the bits and bobs are. Feet are directly under the hips. This gives you opportunity for even better balance. The knees are just a little bit off the lock so that the suspension is there. Lift and lengthen, more activity around your middle bit. So out of slump into active stand, a little bit of squeeze through the back of the shoulder blades, and then start steady, stay steady. Find a pace that's comfortable for you. So it should feel fluid and rhythmical. Go too slow and it will bring on a balance challenge. So if you're going too slow with this, so that it feels like you're walking through treacle, you're going to make it more difficult. So it needs this rhythmical flow, so you are briefly shifting the weight from one leg to the other. This will help maintain better balance. And then as and when you're ready, you can start to bring in the other moving parts of the arm. So obviously this is how we walk. So the arms help with balance in walking. That's why we do opposites. Keep it steady, keep the bend at the elbow, so we're not in long flailing arms. You'll have more control and you'll get more range of motion. And all of those things apply also if you are in a sit position. So carry on stand uppers. I'm going to come down to sit to give you those prompts in this different position. If you're in a sofa, you will probably have to work a little bit harder to shift and hip walk out of it on account of its squidgy softness and probably the angle of that as well. So coming forward in the sofa is going to bring the hips up a little bit. It's still a little bit too low for me to really get a comfortable leg march. So as you can see, I'm going to use my feet to drive the leg lift rather than the muscles here in my hips, because they're already a bit squashed. And if it's comfortable for you, you might want to go for the low lift of the toes, aiming to keep the knees as low as possible, and then we can bring in all the other moving parts. So you might have arms and legs going together, it might be arms only, or you might intersperse that with some diagonals and some legs as and when you want. All this is designed to do two key things really. Boost the circulation, that is to say, increase the blood flow around your body parts, get your muscles moving a bit more. All this will generate heat and warmth and allow more free flowing movement, gets your joints ready, gets your muscles ready, gets your supporting parts ready, to the point where you just feel the need to do that. Take a deeper breath. That is all we're after from a Cert Boost. So many benefits from just doing that, just those little bouts of Cert Boost across your day. Ready for moves now. Sit or stand, you choose. Here's your shoulder range, up and down. Really focus on the down. What goes up must come down, all the way down. Press, press, press down. Couple of those up and downs, and then build the range to go into that reverse circle as well. So you can feel and see that that brings in even more movement, maybe some singles if you want to, just kind of mix it up a little bit. Can you feel your shoulder blades shifting and a lifting behind there? You're going to need them today for all of your lift, carry, push, pull, reach activities. Head and neck, here we go, sit or stand. If you have any concerns with balance, have a sit down for this one, or stay in stand but have some external support. Take your sideways turns, back to base. Pause in the middle. Slow, slow, slow as you go here, folks. All the way around and back again. I come a little bit closer. Morning, Doris. Morning, Bridget. There's a little fly buzzing around here. If you see me do a big clap any minute now, that's not part of the movement snack. You don't see me clapping much. There you go. It's only the flies that get me clapping. There you go, back to base, all the way around there. Keep aiming to keep the chin level. Try and make as much as you can from your sideways gaze. Sideways gaze. There, there, there. And the nose stays in the same position. So all we're looking to avoid here is a dip or a lift. And you need those in your days, but not right now because we're focusing on turnability. Third movement of the top end is this one. So your head is shifting and easing now into a different position. Sideways and this kind of backward press here. All of these little movements are going to help support positioning the head. Loads of different head position adjustments, whether you're pushing, reaching, leaning, The head's really heavy, so it can very much influence what we do with the rest of the posture. So that's your 3 moves at the top end. We did the shoulders, the lift, the lower and the roll, the slow as you go, sideways gaze, and then the ease back, the double chin win. Any head movement has potential to challenge your balance. So slow, pause in between each one, sit down or use external support if you should need. And it's the second round, cert boost. Nothing changes for the cert boost. It just is. I say this all the time. There are plenty of things in our days that we don't really enjoy but do them anyway. Maybe this is one of them. There you go. It's going to be more enjoyable than the washing up, but you still do the washing up. So it's good. It has benefits. I saw a phrase somewhere, I don't remember where, something I read in these weeks. The body becomes good at what it does the most of. So your body will adapt to what it does the most of. So if it spends most of its time inactive, it will get really good at that. If it spends time moving and shifting and doing stuff, it'll get good at that. There you go, work out the moral for yourself. Here's your trunk moves, folks. Sit or stand, you choose. A bend, a turn and an extend. If you are in sit, anchor your feet, anchor your buttocks. Start small on the bend and then back to base. Same on the other side. Now how does that feel in sit? If you start to feel that as you bend in one direction you get a bit of buttock lift, work harder to fix those and maybe make the movement smaller, and as you become to control that without too much effort, then you can build that range of motion over time. And depending where you're sat in the chair, of course you can then bring in the lower arm reach as well. You may feel the need to have a break and a pause in between each one if it feels effortful, and it may well do. Certainly if you're new to these specific kind of movements, anything new will be effortful. So you can expect to feel a feeling of tiring or fatigue in your middle bits. If that's the case, have a rest. That's why rests are there. The rests are as important as the active bits. If you're doing your side bends in stand, have a wider stance. Decide if you want the support to the front or the side. There's the bend and return. There. On doing side bend, there's no movement in the head, neck, our areola. So it goes straight down and straight back. A little bit of bend through your suspensions, your suspension knees, and then step back out, have a pause, have a switch off, maybe just a little bit of foot pedal, and then we can set up for the turn. If you're in stand for your turn, and if you want support, it's really best to be to the front of you. Here you go, there's your turn in stand, back to base. And as we always say, the focus of this trunk turn is your trunk. This should be the bit that moves. So if I just relax arms, head doesn't move, it just moves as one with the trunk. You have that kind of movement. So take the arms out of the equation. And just as you take the turn, maybe ask yourself, what's turning? What's turning? And it may well be that it's your head that's turning. If your head's turning, it's not a trunk turn. The moral of the story is, I'll say it one more time, it's the trunk that we want to move. And if you want to do an extra test on that, fingertip on your chin, thumb on your sternum, and as you turn, these should remain connected. If your head turns off, you know you've got the not the right bit moving, basically. Well, not the bit that we're aiming to move. So there are your fast two trunk moves, the turn and return. Third move is the back extension. If I come onto a slight angle so you can see, Here in the slump, you see you get a bendy spine, C-shaped, and the pelvis tilts under. We want to tilt that the other way. It's almost as if you're getting a sensation of a light hollow in the spine here, lifting up through the chest, and then there is your back extension. Your hands can be here in front to guide that up. If comfortable, it could be on the back pocket here. If that's not comfortable on your shoulder, don't go there, don't go there. There it is, there. And the same things I've just said, it's about your trunk movement, not the neck. So keep the gaze forward, the head doesn't move, there is your back extension. All of those 3 trunk movements are in your day, and they were in your night as well. Turning, bending, extending. So it applies to sit, stand and lying positions. Here's your 3rd round assert boost. Here we go. Or maybe go for a wander. You might want to have a walk out to the kitchen, put the kettle on, ready for your next cup of tea after this movement snack. Here's your last flurry and sits. As we work in towards the last ankle, feet and toe trio, maybe put some extras in through the feet. Continue to break that up with upper limb. Maybe go for some extra extensions. Now we're well into the movement snack. Everything, you should be starting to feel that you're getting your second wind, as it were. The body takes time to get ready for a bit more movement, so it can't just wake up and switch everything on. There's lots of stuff in our body systems that take a while to get going. So that's really what we're doing here. We're nudging and easing everything into action for your day. Ankles, feet and toes. Are you ready? Here's your seated option first. I'm going to have a hip walk back, 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 back. Bring in my cushion so that I've got a bit more support. There you go. Low lift of the foot, and there are your ankle moves. Take your time, slow it down so that you can get full range of motion. I'm in bare feet today, so I can get extra toes. Bring those into the equation as well. Toes, look after your toes, folks. I'm not suggesting that you don't. I mean, they're right at the end of the line, aren't they? So everything needs to get all the good stuff to the end of the line. This is why also the circulation boosting is so significant. So look after your extremities, get them moving. This will help again boost circulation and all of those things. And your toes play a significant part in balance and standing activities. Your fingers, they're your grippers. They grip onto the floor, literally. They grip the floor as all of your different body positions are challenged through the day. So here's your seated options there. Heel raises for your toe hinges there. A couple of those on each side. You'll feel your calf muscles on the squeeze here. Other options could be there and there, depending actually on the height of the chair and how long your legs are. If that one's not comfortable, just go for the others. And then you have your foot placement rehearsal here. Really take the time to find your feet and your grippers at the end. I think I might call your toes grippers from this point forward. So get your grippers at the end, because it's more descriptive, isn't it? If toes were called grippers, perhaps there would be a greater acknowledgement across the population of what an important part they play in balance. So get your grippers gripping. You'll need those, yes you will, especially if you're working towards or already in standing positions. Get your grippers working. I'm going to stick with that now. You know what I'm like, it's not going to go now. The grippers have stuck for good. Here are your standing prompts then. So get your weights towards that support side, a bit of knee bend there. There's your toe hinges first, so get your gripper hinges going, and then there's the heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, there. And just change sides, have a step round, practice your step turns, step turn around, 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 around. Extra grippers there. There's the bendy bits in your feet. Need those for walking and pushing off and propulsion. And then here are your ankle moves. All whilst that's going on, of course, your supporting leg and your supporting hip are carrying all of the body weight. So there's some good, great stuff going on there as well. I did say I'd clap at some point. If you do feel a wobble come on, you know, put the foot down, get the grippers in the feet in action. And that's it. That is 17 minutes of additional moves. Here's a Beck's hug to finish if you'd like it. Anything else you like the feel of? Maybe a few sit to stands. Slow, 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 slow as you go on the way down. A bit of gusto on the way up. And any variations of that you like the feel of. That. Red Rita and Dawn and Ursie, morning. Morning, morning, Cyprus again. Good to see you folks. I think I'm with you on the noon again today. Maybe outside, maybe we'll make it outside. Remember what I said. Look after your grippers and I'll see you in 4 hours. Bye for now.